afternoon, everybody. Welcome to our UTech Training Center. I'm Bruce Walter with Unilock Midwest. With me today behind the camera is Augie Rodriguez, our Director of Training. We want to welcome you and thank you for spending time with us here today. We're commonly known, the two of us, as #Broggy on Instagram, all right? So give us a follow if you will, all right? But today we want to discuss with you pillar construction, all right? Now, pillars are really a common element that we'll see in the backyard application as well as in the front yard, but in a hardscape installation, both starting a seat wall and ending a seat wall, all right, you're going to see a lot of pillar construction involved. There's some challenges that we want to address with you on pillar construction. But if you think about that, it's an extra opportunity for a hardscape contractor on his installation. But what I like about it, and I think what offers relevance to the homeowner, is they've got an opportunity to personalize that. All right, so what do I mean by that? When we build a structure in the backyard, they have the opportunity to implement their feature that they want to see. So say for instance here, this beautiful ornamental grass, they don't like that potentially, then they're going to change that, all right, and request you as the installer, potentially we need some hardscape lighting, all right. So potentially it could be a lighting fixture that would illuminate stair construction off of it, all right? So certain things like that. There's a lot of opportunities that are available when it comes to pillars and what you can do. Oftentimes you'll see water features and things like that. Commonly you'll see a fire feature. Maybe not this one particularly, but there's a lot of bowls and features that you could potentially install in your hardscape installation to give you a little extra interest, right? For a dealer, great opportunity. For your Unilock catalog, literature holder, okay? So anyways, all kidding aside, great opportunity to involve the homeowner in your hardscape installation, but there's some challenges, all right, when it comes to building the pillar. And really it starts by the mass load. If you think about that pillar and the weight of this unit compared to its counterpart seat wall here, this is 3 to 4 times the mass load, all right, the weight. So that presents some problems on the insulation side. A lot of us will do concrete for our base work, all right? Certainly a good option, nothing wrong with concrete. But there's some other options that are just generally as good as what a concrete installation might be. Let's talk about this. With the U-Cara pillar unit here, we're starting out our installation with the base plates, all right? So we ran up here in this interior 5-inch cavity, some low voltage wiring. So by us doing a perpendicular 4-piece component, I've got 33 inches of base here. That's going to support that 24-inch pillar unit, all right? So a nice way, a couple of things with that we want to, again, make sure that we've got stable base to accept this mass weight. So how can we enhance our construction? Well, there's a couple of methodologies here. This is drive grid, all right? It's an angular grid system. Once excavation happens, all right, we're gonna install our drive grid right over subsoil and then introduce our aggregate over it. What I like about drive grid and what enhances that is I'll lift this a little bit and show you how it really locks that gravel in. So here on the bottom of this, you'll see how that locks that in and basically now becomes a Velcro for any rotational movement that you might have on here. This is our 3/4 clean aggregate, all right? But below this base unit here, we recommend best practice would be the drive grid installation, a minimum of 6 inches here on our 3/4 clean, and then the base unit. All still part of the 2 courses that potentially are going to be buried to support this pillar unit. All right, so let's introduce some of the components that we're going to talk about to build a pillar, all right? The pillar is going to be built with U-Cara off of the large backer here, all right? We're going to amend this a little bit and show you some of the characteristics that are involved on this. This is a 12-inch unit, but you're going to notice along the length of that, 2 different channels are created. One has a sharper edge that's made to receive this clip, all right? That simply fits down snugly like that. The other side is more of an open finish, and I'll show you how that's going to align itself for a tongue and groove connection point here on this vertical cross joint. So this is the structural unit right here for us to begin our pillar construction. Before I do that though, I kind of want to introduce the fascia panels, all right? oftentimes we'll talk about left and right corners. So this is a closed end corner panel right here. You'll notice how that end is finished. This is the top edge right here, all right? And I can easily grip that to identify that. If I hold it backwards, I'm fighting that angle of that channel right there, all right? So that's an easy way to grip that, to hold that, to identify top side. Once I identify the top side, I'll spin this around. This is a right end closed end unit, right corner, all right? Its counterpart is here again, gripping top side, spinning this around. It's our left hand corner, all right? So oftentimes when we use the words left and rights, that's what we're referring to. One other point of interest here, these all come with its counterpart, the half unit on the bundle configuration. Even though on a pillar construction, we're gonna be using all closed end corners, left and rights, you're gonna have quite a few of the half units. Now, over here, these are still a great item to have if you're gonna do an installation that involves random ashlar type patterns like this one here. Okay, lastly is gonna be the clips. There's a bag, 40 per bag, all right? I like to use one clip per large backer. I'll show you a little bit about that during the installation. But 40 of them gives me 10 courses high, 4 per course, all right? So I'm easily within one bag able to build a 36 to 42 inch pillar. Okay, so let's get started here. We've got our base unit set, supported by 𝐦𝐨𝐵 drive grid, as well as the 3/4 clean. What you're gonna notice is we've chiseled off here these top tongue and grooves. Recognize the fact that we're gonna go perpendicular with the next course over that, but that's the reason right now that we've eliminated that. I like to do that at the bundle and not so much here once I place the unit. So I recommend that. This way I'm not chiseling here over a unit that I've already set. So again, we're gonna use the adhesive, all right? A lot of good adhesives in the market available to you guys, all right, in its application. So here, we're gonna use an adhesive, drop a bead here on our base plate, set our first course of backers. Now, recognize, remember, this was what I'm referring to here. That interlocking vertical joint on this cross joint, when we intersect this perpendicular to the next large backer, that's a great lockup, mechanical lockup for us. Anyways, obviously 4 large backers laid out perpendicular to each other, all right? Then again, I like to set a single clip here on that back side. So we're starting out with right-hand corners. Recognize when a bundle comes out to you with right hand and left-hand corners, you have 3 lefts, 4 rights. Our pallet is 36 by 42, so if you do the math on 42 inches across, we have 7 layers, so an uneven number. But that's why we recommend starting with the rights, because you have that extra right. All right, simply laying that up, I would lay a bead of adhesive here. I'm gonna hang on this channel, and back side is gonna hang here on that clip. All right, do that on the opposite side. Tighten this up. Again, I've got adhesive supporting that as well. Now, let's look at this. What if I am writing a little bit high here? So the clip, if it doesn't install correctly, just right, I'm able with one clip in position to mallet set that down if I'm running low. Now, what if I'm running high? Because I am reading the fascia panel against the backer. So say here, I'm running slightly low. What I've done is taken a plastic strap, cut that up with my snips into 2 to 3 inch pieces, all right? But I can identify this lippage. The difference between the top of this backer and the top of that fascia panel is 1 shim. I'll remove that panel, set that shim on that clip, reinstall, all right? And now I'm on. All right, so I'm using that shim not here to support it, which I would have to pull out eventually, but here I'm burying that in and leaving that in, all right? So nice little way to either adjust up or down, but again, I'm following the level of these backers, all right, which I've already set into place. Okay, second course, let's move forward. Second course here. Again, I'm going perpendicular. I'm overlaying this joint on the first panel with the second one coming over it. Again, I'm enjoying the tongue and groove effect here. This clip side, again, always to the outside, but if I don't want to use clips, this is a good way to do it as well. This is something that we call lock bond. So basically here in this cross section, I'm connecting this course backer to this course backer with that fascia panel. So great way to connect your structural component here by using the fascia panels. Also, I'm not having to incorporate the usage of clips, all right? So I'm hanging on this piece of concrete and this piece of concrete. Top course here on first course, bottom piece on the second course. Lay that up. All right, so structurally, I'm gaining some strength by connecting all of these courses of backer together. All right, I do like to also use the adhesive here anytime I'm working a corner. I think that's a good best practice. Also, allows me the opportunity to drop in at the very top of the pillar once I'm built. Easy to install a vertical axle. Here I might want to use some clips to install that 3-inch, okay? So, easy to build, gives you a good look once I put pillar cap on top, but no clips involved, so again, just a different technique. Now, one of the things that you'll often see is an existing post in place, all right? So no matter what the wall is, to veneer this, all right, in a pillar fashion, it's a challenge. So here, even with U-Cara, I'll back that out, and this could be any wall material, right? You have to cut around an 8x8 post here, make 2 cuts, all right? Difficult cut to make, honestly, especially when we're using a 6-inch material. So, again, the challenge is how to veneer an existing post. So, that kind of comes into play, the advancements of what we've gone with U-Cara, all right? U-Cara, this last year, we've introduced a modular system. Great, easy method to be able to build outdoor kitchens and vertical elements, all right? Now we have the pillar unit available as well. So simply it comes in 4 panels, all right? By simply attaching 3 together in a U shape, I can slide that over this existing post, all right? Now on the 4th panel, I don't know if you can notice here, but I've got this second panel unscrewed, this rail right here, all right? These are a 5/16 self-driving nut, but the reason is I want to access the area here to be able to bolt this up. So once I'm slid past that existing post, I can open this up and do my installation and connect these with my 4 bolts, all right? So by doing that, kick that in flush, I can easily bolt up here from top side, all right? And then do my connection in this open area here on my bottom side by installing my bolts into this panel here, all right? Then I'll reattach this, all right, rail back in position, and then begin to do my veneer on the panels up. So easy way to do an installation, great access area, reduces my weight, all right, significantly. So lastly, I want to show you the other advantages you have. Now potentially I would Tapcon this frame down into existing concrete pad that's supporting that post. Let me pull this post up just to give you an idea of the extended height. And once I have this post coming out, this frame in place, you're given these support brackets that you're able to lock down into that post for security on your pillar wrap. So great installation technique and new development available to you guys as a contractor. All right, so I want to thank you for your time today. All right, stay safe.